Summer. The warmest time of the year. People bathe, flowers bloom, people dance around giant leafy ding-dongs. And of course, so many photographers crowd the beaches to get their one shot of the sunset they've been wanting all day, just for some random tourist to stand in just the wrong spot. Get out of there! But for this boy, it was not a time to celebrate. It was a time of torture, because this boy cannot sweat. And so, every summer comes by, he dreads it all year long, and he has to just lay there in the couch, wishing for the cold. This time, however, he had an idea. He was going to draw. And what to draw, you may perhaps think about, maybe questioning? Why, of course, Pokémon! After all, it is the 30th anniversary of the franchise, and this boy is a big fan. So why not celebrate it by drawing a new one?
Okay. Hiya, I'm John, and I decided I want to make a Pokemon today because it's warm and it's reminding me of the sunny shores of Alola. Good times. But what to draw? That's the question, isn't it? Well, since it's warm and sunny outside, maybe something that reminds me of the beach and something relaxing. Maybe bathing and maybe swimming and maybe I'm saying too much. Warm and summery it is.
Something warm and summery. That's what I set out to do, but considering the fact that I often feel overwhelmed and just too dry and hot over these cruel summer months, I instead opted to do something more fitting and symbolizing of that, you could say. So I started making a concept for a wilting flower that hasn't been watered in a while. I didn't really know what I wanted to make going into this because I didn't actually plan anything, but I wanted to start the video off by making a small little dude Pokemon. Something like Phalanx or Roggenrola. I know it's not really the most summery thing out there, but I wanted to make something representing how I feel. So, after making this concept for a stalk that hasn't been watered in a while, that got me thinking. Something in a dry place with a flower that waits for water. What better than a cactus? A cactus Pokemon in and of itself, though, is a little bit hard to make as a new concept because you've already got Cacturne and Cacnea and Maractus, so try not to expect anything groundbreaking. It's just gonna be a cactus. It's a warm-up, basically. I wanted to start this video off simple, because it's taking a lot of time to actually make, and I want to get it out before the month ends. Just setting up the recording software to actually work with my drawing program, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, you should have seen the difficulties making this thing work.
He's a phantom.
Welcome one and all to Stumbleseed!
I mean, it is just a cactus, but it's a cute waddling cactus. And I'm really happy with the style I managed to make on this one, actually. It's a bit different from what I usually do, and I like it. Admittedly, the name has nothing to do with the fact that it's a cactus, so perhaps you can post a better name in the comments. Onwards to the next one!
And of course, after you've been in the sun for long enough, you'll get thirsty, and so you'll need something wet to drink. And so, I'm gonna make
another stumbly guy, because I like the body type and like playing around with it.
Now, to make this one different from the other one, I decided to make something filled with water instead of lacking water. Something that bounces around because it's just that full of it. Like a water balloon, basically. But as a sprout. Or a leak. I don't really know. I got inspired by lily pads that I saw whilst me and my sister were out boating. Whilst making it, I obviously also saw the comparisons that could be made to Kirby enemies, and I decided to lean into that because a lot of the time Kirby enemies and Pokemon kind of just overlap in design philosophies. Like, Kirby enemies are often just fun for the sake of fun, and Pokemon have more thought out designs, but there's a lot of similarities when you think about it and actually look it up. A lot of Kirby enemies look like they could be Pokemon, and a lot of Pokemon could look like they could be Kirby enemies. Just imagine Snorunt as part of DDD's army. It would fit right in. Like I said before, I was inspired partially by the flowers I've seen on lily pads, because when me and my sister were out boating, we decided to pluck some out of the water and just take it home to look at, because it's pretty. They're pretty. The lily pads and lily flowers are... Wait, are they called lily pads because they have some kind of lily on them? Huh. Oh yeah, right. I wanted to make this one's style a little bit different by experimenting with kind of a pastel-y look. Like I've drawn it with crayons, like Yoshi's Island kind of thing. And I'm so bad with names right now because I want to get this video out there and I'm getting stressed. So that the current name I have for him is just Wet Tim. He looks like a Tim, right? It's not just me, is it? It's not just me. Anyway, since we made a Pokemon that's parched and in need of water, and one that's full of water, perhaps we should make one that's learning to use the water. Because I like swimming. A lot. You can ask anyone I know and they will tell you I am jumping into the pool as soon as I can. Never the sea, no. Never the sea. It's terrifying and I hate it! Now, let's wrap this video up by making a fully new 3-stage Pokemon. I wanted to use the 3 concepts I made for this video in one line, being dry and arid and too hot, dumping something into the water to get wet, and using the water to your advantage. And I'm gonna be fully transparent here and say that this Pokemon was actually the first one I made for this video. As you can see with the concept in front of you, I wanted to make a little lizard, but I didn't really quite know what pose to give it, so I tried drawing it in a standing up pose and accidentally created an enemy fit for Donkey Kong Country or Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. The artistic process is weird, man. I played around with something for the third concept and gave it a boa, a tadpole tail, and kind of the thing that all anime people have in a hospital when it's something to warm. I don't actually know what that is. I played around with the eyes for a while because I didn't really quite know what uniqueness to give it, and then I tried giving it hair, didn't quite like that, and in the end I'm kinda satisfied with it. But this doofus right here messed some stuff up. Wait, what? But I'm you! No, you're a Beware. Moving right along, I decided to make the second stage something more aquatic. I started off by sketching a crocodile mouth, although that one kind of reminded me too much of Sandile and Crocodile, so I instead went for something more... I don't know, dinosaurish perhaps? I don't know, the crocodile vibe just wasn't really working for me. Then I played around with the head shape again because I wasn't really quite satisfied and wanted to do it over. I settled on something more triangular to have a more unique silhouette. Then I tried adding some more detailing to make the silhouette even more unique, but this artist is a buffoon, so it didn't go quite well. Then I fiddled around with some hair. You can see that I tried to do something floofy, but then it kinda just reminded me too much of Phineas. So instead I opted to make the hair more like a feather, and that got me an idea. Perhaps the feather on the back could be something that it's proud of, like a prince or a knight, and it's awaiting to evolve to become the king of the desert, ruling the creatures of the sand and roaming the oasis in case somebody falls in and needs help. I also added a boa for consistency's sake. What do you think?
Now where did I leave my honey? Oh, honey!
Moving on? Because I made the second stage a prince, I knew that I wanted to make this thing more kingly looking, but I also wanted to integrate some more aquatic themes, and I decided on maybe making it look like a lifeguard. So I added a floaty pauldron looking thingies on the shoulders, and I added a kelp looking tail to add to the movement. The head though was a real struggle. I started off by making a crocodile snout again, but that didn't work like before, so after some struggling I made a decision to make it a snake looking thing again. And I really like the head crest kind of thing that some snakes have, so I started with that, but then it kind of looked like an old Dracula type. I tried fiddling around with the details more, but then I kind of just scrapped them and made it a snake head again,
took away the details, kinda just made it work. The rest of the body just came and flowed from there. I wanted to make some elements that kind of reminded me of flowers, because the little seed has grown into a big flowery king lizard. It doesn't really work that well, but I like it. Then I added some feathers because the boa was getting old and I threw it out.
It's such a shame, too.
Then I went on to color all three of them at once, but I only actually made a shading style for this one because I didn't have time, because I tried to make this video come out in July, but the editing takes a long time because I like goofing around and over-editing things even though I have a strict time limit that I put on myself. Why does my brain keep doing this?
Well,
Because
it's wet.
once again, I come to you in need of a name for these creatures. Perhaps feathery, planty, lizardy, I don't know. But I am really happy that I made this, because I'm just starting out using this drawing pad and so far I'm really enjoying it. You can check out my DeviantArt if you want to see more stuff, but for now, this is it.
I think I'm actually pretty proud of these. It was my birthday last month, and I promised myself this year to start making videos on my channel every single month, and it didn't really happen, because life got in the way and because my family likes making me busy. I haven't actually done much yet, but I'm thinking of making a video now every month after my birthday. So, if you have any suggestions on what I should do, maybe put a comment below and I'll see what I'll do. Generally, I love drawing, playing games, and knowing cartoon history, so perhaps maybe something about those, I don't know, I'll have to see. Only the future can tell what next month will bring. So I guess, see you then! Well, if you enjoyed going with me on this journey to make these 3 Pokemon, I suggest you subscribe and hit that like button, because I am dobby like a sock. By the way, did you see because I want to make one video each month, and because I didn't get to start that before now, I just do it. Well, if you enjoyed going with me on this journey to make these 3 amazing Pokemon, if I do say so myself, I suggest you do what you do on YouTube, and you do what you do on YouTube, and you do what you do on YouTube, and you do what you do, and you do what you do, and then what will you do with a drunken sailor? Subscribe.